Good afternoon. Welcome to the CI Tools webinar for today. Uh, my screen is sharing all right. Looks like it is. All right. My name is Josh Osborne, and this is the weekly CI Tools webinar um, where we look at stuff to do with the CI Tools. Recently finished going through a series of looking at all of the tools in ArchiCAD 28. And we've covered off a couple of different updates that have come through in the last couple of weeks as well. And so now we are looping back to start going through all of the tools again. So we're going to look at the Fitout tool today. So we'll have a look at why you might want to use that and how it works and that sort of thing. If you have any questions as we go, please enter those in the chat panel and I'll check on those before we finish up. And the other thing is we're going to be working in ArchiCAD 28 today because that is the only version that the Fitout tool is available for. So if you have ArchiCAD 28, you'll be able to try out the Fitout tool and do some of the stuff we're going to look at today. With that out of the way, let's get into using the tool. So first of all, what does the Fitout tool do? So as you can probably guess by the name, it is designed to make fitting out rooms easier to do in ArchiCAD. So the idea here is that when you're in the early stages of the design process, you may want to make rooms look populated with furnishing and that sort of thing, but not have to go through and specify everything that you want and place it in the place it needs to be and drag everything out around and move everything around and have all these bits that you need to remember to turn the layers on and off for, that sort of thing. And so what the Fitout tool aims to do is to make the process of adding furnishing very easy by just reducing it to a couple of clicks to place the room that you want. And then it makes it so that rearranging of that room is very easy as well. Removes some of the hassle of doing that. So it just makes it nice and easy to fill rooms in your buildings, whether it be a large amount of them or just a small amount. It will still save you a good amount of time in doing that. And then when you get further along in the process and you want to really nail down the layout of your furnishing and that sort of thing, you have the option to keep your fit outs as they are or convert them into individual objects and replace those with any specific other objects you might want to replace those with, which also means that you'll be able to schedule them and that sort of thing like you would any other object. So the way that we access the tool is from the Fitout tool in our toolbox here. If you don't have this in your toolbox, just head to the options menu, work environment, apply profile, and choose the CI Tools Profile 28. That will automatically add it into your toolbox there. And if you don't want to add it by loading the work environment, you can manually add it to the toolbox using the toolbox work environment settings. Once you have that available, just click on it to open it up, and you will see 5 different fit out objects available in it at the moment. We released the tool with the bathroom fit out, the bedroom fit out, and the laundry fit out. And then in an update at the start of this year, we released the consult room fit out and the office fit out as well. So there's 5 possible rooms available. And obviously you can save favorites of these or anything like that. I've got a couple of save favorites here, so I'm going to use those. So I'll just jump across to the favorites. I'll choose the master bed for now. And to place the fit out, I just click inside my zone here and it will automatically figure out the shape of that zone and place all of the elements in it without me having to do anything else. And so you can see it has gone through and it's placed down a bed and some cabinets and things, put curtains on the walls, on the windows rather, and all of the elements have been placed in sensible spots so they're not covering up windows or anything like that. And if we go and have a look in 3D, you'll be able to see all of those elements there, or you would be able to if the curtains weren't in the way. You can see that's all placed there. So we've got our cabinets next to the bed. We've got the headboard and the bed, We have two different cabinets here with mirrors above them, got curtains on our windows, and we have a smoke alarm on the ceiling here. So it's placed all of that automatically for us. And what we can do now is that we can easily rearrange it by just selecting our fit out object. So you'll see it selects all the pieces as you would expect. And all of the elements have these purple dynamic hotspots on them to allow us to manipulate them further. So if we decide that this cabinet should be on a different wall, we just grab the dynamic hotspot for it and move it to where we want it to be. And you'll see that as we move it around, it will be locking our cursor to the bounds of the zone that we placed it in, so you can't accidentally place it somewhere else. You'll also probably be able to see that as I move it close to other walls, it automatically rotates the object to be placed with their back against the wall across those, so you don't have to do a bunch of additional rotating and that sort of thing as you're dragging items around. You can just move them to wherever they need to go. Pick this one up and we'll move it to the other side, and then we can grab our bed and move it a bit further down here. We could move it across to the other side, across to the other side, and it would rotate, and all of the end cabinets that are attached with it would go with it as well. We also have this hotspot here in the middle, surrounded by 4 black hotspots here. And if we move this around, this will allow us to adjust the biasing for the room. So the room will always try to, first of all, make sure that it's not covering any doors that come into the room. And second, it will try to not cover up any windows as well, which you can see it has done its best to do here. But the way it actually arranges items in the room is slightly randomized. And so what we can do is we can adjust the bias to somewhere else so that it tries to sort of recenter the arrangement based on that. So if you find that it is cutting around the things that you want, but it's just not quite arranged the way that you want, you can move the bias around as well. And that will adjust in that way. And if we go back to 3D, you'll see that those changes get made there as well. So all of the elements are fully 3D. And we can now go through and do the same with other elements as with the other rooms as well, rather. So if I grab the Fitout tool again, just remove that marquee. If I select the Fitout tool again, we can choose a different favorite this time. So we can choose the single bedroom for this one. Click to place in this zone, and it will do the same. It places down the bed and the cabinets and that sort of thing. And then with the bathroom, we can choose a favorite for that as well. So we'll choose the office bathroom, click OK, and then place inside here. And it will do what it thinks is sensible there as well. In this case, it doesn't think there's enough room to fit the toilet, so it's just dropped it in the middle of the room. But we can override that by just picking it up and moving it to the wall that we want it on. And it will automatically rotate and move to that wall again. And so we can jump back out and have a look at how that's arranged things. So we've got our second room here. Get through the curtain really well. There we go. So the bed and the cabinets are displayed there, and then the bathroom is here with that full setup that we had there. So the mirror, the sink, soap dispenser, handrail, and all of that sort of thing. So as you can see, it makes it nice and easy to get those fit outs placed, and then manipulating them once they are placed is very easy as well by just grabbing onto the parts that you want and moving them to where you want. So you can move the cabinet around here. I won't let it overlap with the, not the cabinet, sorry, the end table. It won't let it overlap with the bed or anything like that, and it keeps to the side of the bed that you've told it should be on. So the constraints, smart constraints there, make it easier to move around as well. So we can move that to wherever it needs to be. And the same with this cabinet as well, works the same way. Looking into the actual settings for the fit outs, there's plenty of options available as well. So we'll go through and have a look at how all of those work. So at the top level of our settings is the fit out settings itself, where we set the high level contents of the room. So for the bedroom fit out, we can choose how many beds belong in it, how many sets of drawers belong in it, whether there should be any window treatments. So we can have nothing. We can have oops, curtains, roller blinds, or vertical blinds, and it will just do the same thing that it's already doing. Um, it was using curtains before, but it will just put on blinds or whatever you ask it to there. And you can choose whether you want it to place a smoke detector as well. So just let me know if that screen is frozen. I'll just see what's going on there. Okay, that should be working. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, so at the high level for the fit out, we can choose. Um, for instance, for the bedroom, we can choose how many beds, how many sets of drawers, what window treatments there should be, and whether we have a smoke detector placed as part of the room. Um, and obviously those are saved differently in my favorites. And then we can control the appearance of the fit out as well using these settings. You can also add an offset to the walls if you need to as well. So maybe you have like a interior cladding on the walls, something like that, that you want to have a offset to allow for. You can enter that here as well. Then moving down into the details of each of the parts, we call the pieces of these components. And then in some cases, there are groups of components which we call assemblies. So the bed is an assembly. So we'll look at the settings for that first. And this one looks similar to the top level because it is a assembly. Technically, the fit out is an assembly as well. So that's why it looks similar. And in this one, we choose what kind of bed is placed, whether it's a regular or a bunk, how many cabinets it should have. So one on each side, or left or right, or none at all. And if you want to have lamps placed on them as well. And then again, we have some offset settings here, how to settings for how it should rotate when you get it close to walls and that sort of thing. And we can also choose how it is labeled as well. So there's a description, a code, a name, and a group number available here for you to put them into. And we can also override the layer as well, so that when we explode this into elements later on, it can go onto a different layer if it needs to. And then we get down to the individual component level. So the bed is the first of those. And this will look like pretty much a standard object setting that you might see in anything else. So we've got our, we can choose the sizing for the bed in this case, and then we can override those if we need to as well. So we can say, actually, this is the queen. It will adjust the size, but you can manually adjust the sizings as well. These are just sort of um, default sizes that you can place so that you don't have to think about it, but you can modify that to whatever you need. And then we can choose how the base works and how many legs are applied on the bed, and then the appearance settings and the coding or description stuff is on the right panel. So you can choose the surface that is used in this case. Then we've got the same for the headboard. can choose what kind of headboard it is and what the dimensions are for it, the bedding, um, whether it should include pillows, what the appearance should be, and that sort of thing, and how they should be placed. Those are invisible at the moment because we've got it turned off in our model view options, but we'll look at that shortly. Then we move down to the bedside cabinet. We have similar settings there as well. So you can see the framed construction, simple, how the cupboard is set out, and then again the same appearance settings over here. The drawers, similar again. Choose how whether there should be a mirror, and if so, what shape and size it should be. Smoke detector, just choosing how the shape and size of that one is, and we can also choose to show the effective range, which is what this big dash line circle is that you can see on my floor plan view. The window treatments that we saw before, so we can choose how the track works for them and then the dimensions of them, as well as a couple of other settings to do with how it will work and the usual surface settings and that sort of thing there. And then finally the label, which is how the label for the fit out object itself will work. And at the moment we don't have one showing, but these are the settings for how they will work if we turn on labeling. So you can see those there. And the fit out object works very similarly for the other types as well. So if I choose the consult room, for instance, this will let us choose if we want to have a consult desk, chairs, exam couch, basin, etc. So this is the high level, the same as before, but then we can go down to the individual level as well. So consult desk is an assembly, so we can choose what elements are part of that, and then we can look at the specifics of each element. Choose how the chair should work, how big the printer should be, what color it should be, whether the exam couch, what the dimensions rather of the exam couch should be, and that sort of thing as well. So you get the same settings for all of the sub-elements or components for each part. The next thing you probably want to be able to do with these, once you get further along in the process and you want to either be able to schedule the elements that are there or just treat them as if they were normal objects, or if you are ready to turn them into something more detailed, maybe you've downloaded some 3D objects of specific beds or cabinets or something like that, or you just have a different object that you would like to have them represented with, you can still use those at the end of the process by just turning all of these elements into their individual pieces. So with this bedroom fit out selected, I just go to CI Tools Fit Out. I choose to convert to components, and it will run that. You shouldn't see anything change in your floor plan view, so everything will stay where it is. But if I select any parts now, you'll see they're all individual pieces, so you can treat these as normal. So the set of drawers here is just a drawers object, and there's no additional fit out information to it. It's just an object like this. And if you decide that you want to choose a different object instead, you can go and find that object and swap to that. So you have the option to do that, and because all of the objects are separate now, you can also run a schedule and it will schedule them all individually. Same goes for all of the other parts here as well. So the curtains are able to be controlled by themselves as well, and anything else. As we saw in the settings, the bed is actually a assembly of its own, so it hasn't broken all the way down. It's broken up into a bed assembly, as you can see the name here, and the settings look similar to before, so we can still control what is part of it. And then we have the same full level of detail if we go down to the bottom level settings there, but we can explode this out as well. So if you want to explode everything, we just select the elements that we want to explode further and run the same command again. So convert to components, and it will convert the bed and the attached pieces to components as well. So now we have bedside cabinet by itself. We've got a lamp on top, which we can select. So you can swap out any of these for your own objects at this point. So it makes it nice and easy to lay out the room for you, but you don't sacrifice on the detail when you get further down in the process. it's just a good starting point. All right. Um, so one of the things that we're looking at for the Fitout tool, because it is relatively new, we released it with iCAD 28 last year, is some feedback on what else you could imagine or would like to have the Fitout tool to be able to do. Obviously, in one of the first things that we heard after we released the tool was a lot of people saying that the selection of rooms, they really wanted to be able to have an office fit out in there. So we added the office and the consult room fit out. The consult room, if you've used our select library in the past, actually uses the healthcare objects that we made a couple of years ago. So if you are working in healthcare, that might be useful to you. And if you are using that in healthcare, I would love to hear how it works for you, if it does what you'd want it to do, if it needs to do more and that sort of thing. That would be great to hear. But also, if you have any other suggestions for the types of things it could be used for. Obviously, there's different kinds of rooms, but there might be other types of things entirely that you might want to use it for. Anything that has a zone on it that we can place, um, that we can click the fit out on to place it, has the potential to have a fit out associated with it. So we'd love to hear suggestions of what sort of thing you might want it to be able to do. One of the future projects we're looking at doing with the fit out tool is to give you the ability to create your own types of rooms as well. So to be able to choose what kind of objects you'd want to go into a room, save that as a fit out type, and then be able to apply that to any zone that you have in your project as well. So if that sounds like something that would be useful as well, I would love to hear from you about that as well. Any feedback is welcome. But yes, that is the fit out tool. I'm just going to quickly pause and see if we have any questions. Be right back. All right, looks like we don't have any questions today. So yeah, as I say every other time we run these, if you have any suggestions for things that you would like to see covered in this webinar, please just email us at nz.support@centralinnovation.com, and let us know what kind of thing you would like to see demonstrated in one of these webinars. We have gone through the series that I wanted to get through for iCAD 28. So any suggestions that you have would be great, because I've run out of them myself for now. And yes, if you have any feedback at all about the fit out tool, I would love to hear it as well, whether it be good, bad, or otherwise. Send that through to the same place, nz.support@centralinnovation.com, and that'll make its way through to me. That's all from me today, though. So I hope to catch you at the next one. Thanks.